Boarding Park, Stanford and Clemson meet for the national championship. Stanford head coach Jeremy Gunn was hired in 2012 with a revival. It has been here at Stanford. He has been to an NCAA College Cup final with UNC Charlotte losing to North Carolina. Here's his starting lineup, Taylor.
Foster Langsdorf, 7 goals, 2 assists this year as a sophomore. 4 of those game winners. He was easily the most dangerous player on the field for Stanford Friday night. Keep an eye on his relationship with Jordan Morris. That will be the key today for Stanford.
And for Clemson, Mike Noonan. He has also brought this program back. It was 28 years ago they won a national championship. They seek it out here today. Here is Mike Noonan's lineup.
Kyle Fisher, ACC Defender of the Year. Well, he'll keep an eye on Jordan Morris at all times. But the big news for Mike Noonan is the change in the attack. Melvin comes in on the left. Kasner comes to the right. And Campos will play as a false number 9, looking for something going forward, which they didn't have Friday night.
There is the rain. Stanford black and white. Clemson, or black and red. Clemson in white. And it's game on here for a national championship. The Stanford Cardinal and the Clemson Tigers. Team surviving penalties to get here. This pencil is the referee. First ball comes through here. Jordan Morris putting a pressure on. This is Andrew Tarbell, who had 8 saves in their semifinal win.
Well, Glenn, let's take a look at how each team plans for success, brought to you by Northwest Mutual. For the Stanford Cardinal, they need to be a little bit more ruthless in the final third, particularly Jordan Morris. He's got to have an impact going forward. Now, for the Clemson Tigers, you need to be unpredictable. Friday night, it was way too predictable going forward. Thus, you see the changes with Melvin coming in and Campos playing as your false number 9 up front.
Good point, Taylor, because Mike Noonan's saying basically we've got to get our attack going here. We like this humility, though. He gave a lot of respect to Syracuse in that semifinal. As breaking down the left side here now is Stanford. Barrett to the top of the box. Morris left it. Morris is shot. There it is. Stanford has banged it home. Jordan Morris living up to the moment.
The biggest concern for Mike Noonan and the Clemson Tigers, where you cannot get this game, and it opens up for the Stanford Cardinal. This is the kind of game they want. Corey Barrett considers himself a number 10, but he's playing in a wide left situation. He does a wonderful job of opening the game up. But watch the little touch from Eric Verso just to slot in Jordan Morris. How many players in this moment where Jordan Morris is takes an extra touch? It's so important that Morris's run sets himself up for a one-time finish. Minute 30 seconds into this game, Stanford Cardinal up 1-0.
And that is a striker's goal. So after waiting 220 minutes for a goal on Friday night, well, we've gotten rewarded.
Hallelujah, here we go.
And it's game on here for Clemson now, down a goal to Stanford. Well, they've got an opportunity here. Squares back to the top of the box, shooting opportunity is blocked. What a start for the Stanford Cardinal. Goal officially 2 minutes in, 12th of the season for Jordan Morris. We gave him the drum roll again here, and he has stepped up here at a critical moment. Both teams now react to an early goal here. Morris again, great switch of play. Big tackle coming in from Clemson's Imad Mafi.
So often when you're going into a big cup final, we just saw this a week ago in MLS Cup, where it was an early goal from the Portland Timbers. It gets you right into the swing of things, both for Stanford and for Clemson, because now the jitters are gone, the game's opened up, Clemson now has to play and chase the game. But I think it's so important for Stanford that not only Jordan Morris finished the play off, but their attack so often this year has come from their 2 wide players, Corey Barrett and Eric Verso, both with 12+ assists this year, both having a huge impact early on in this game.
Yeah, nothing like shattering the unbeatable moniker that's been put on Andrew Tarbell 2 minutes in to a national championship game. Over the top goes Stanford again, looking threatening. Leaping tackle out of there. And saving the day was Kyle Fisher. And some movie moments here for Clemson, who are going to try to work themselves back into this game. Here's Kasner now against Brandon Vincent. This is a wonderful matchup here. In fact, Kasner put here to quell Vincent getting forward. Good looking cross from TJ Kasner, the All-American. And Epstein off his line.
And the other impact of this game, Glenn, this is 37 hours after the whistle blew for Stanford against Akron, right? So there's heavy legs involved, so now maybe it's between the years, being extremely smart with your movement, being extremely smart when you take your chances going forward. But right now, Jordan Morris is really causing some problems with his runs over the top.
Well read there by Andrew Tarbell. Again, Morris, the tip of the spear here. Do you think Stanford went a little bit more direct in their play in the second half of their semifinal?
I do. I think also part of that was how Akron throws so many numbers forward, Glenn, and they have so much possession that it almost plays into your hands of being a little bit more direct. But I think Stanford's strength is, and Jeremy Gunn said this on Thursday, is how well balanced they are. I was very impressed Friday night how difficult they were to break down for Akron, and ultimately I think that was the difference of why they're in the final today.
Donna Sinkum now will go back to his goalkeeper, the junior from Pennsylvania. Jeremy Gunn called him a Rolls Royce of a central defender. I've never been called anything near that.
I've never been in a Rolls Royce, let alone be called a Rolls Royce.
Volkswagen. Vincent now will knock it back.
That was more of a tugboat forward, so to speak.
But persistently consistent. Lots of consistency there. Wide game is on now, and how to play it will go. So raining and pounding down here, it has throughout the night. Look at our weather map here, shows you that there's a lot of weather in the area. They're saying, though, potentially could clear out in and around 2 o'clock.
It started heavily, though, last night. Right around 10 o'clock, it's pouring down. The good thing is, though, it's over 60 degrees, right? So it's not cold. And this field here at Sporting Park is unreal. So I don't think it has that much of an impact on the game. Maybe set pieces or shots driven on the ground to the goalkeeper's left or right, but I don't think it will have much of an impact.
Yeah, ball seems to be moving very quickly here, and chopped down here. Top of the box, advantage is played here for Clemson as they drive into the box. Crossing opportunity, and they have earned a corner, but chopped down in midfield was Diego Campos. Good refereeing, though, because advantage was played there, led to a corner for Stanford, for Clemson.
I like the move from Mike Noonan, bringing Diego Campos. I thought he was the only player that was urgent in the final third. He's not going to be your traditional number 9 up front. He's going to try to find the seams. He's going to run in behind, but he's going to at least give them an option up front, in particular with balls in behind.
Under 20 Costa Rican international. So Clemson with a great opportunity to get themselves back in this game, kind of a hybrid zonal slash man-to-man marking here for Stanford.
Keep an eye on Brandon Vincent near post. He's important for Stanford.
And a short one here to the top of the box. And it's headed away by Eric Versa. Got himself in the way of the cross. Back in, and this will be Andrew Epstein, who also was very solid in the semifinals. In fact, this is a weekend, Taylor, where goalkeepers truly stealing the thunder in the semifinals.
Yeah, it was a different kind of performance, though. Tarbell had to be the best player in the field. Epstein was called upon once, and it was actually in overtime when Richie LeRae had to come off his line with a big save. But that's equally as impressive, because for 90 minutes, you're not really tested. You're coming off your line, you get a couple touches, but then in overtime, you've got to come up big. Andrew Epstein did just that.
Made a save in the penalties as well. But competent goalkeeping all around here in this tournament. Jake Fenlison of Akron was excellent as well, and of course the freshman goalkeeper for Akron, Hendrik Hilpert from Germany, produced some good moments as well. Kasner had slipped inside.
Hilpert, a freshman goalkeeper for Syracuse, but he's 20 years old. So he did have experience, obviously, coming from the 3rd and 4th division teams in Germany.
Well, swung inside.
This is the problem that really caused Clemson some issues Friday night. Is look, they'll keep the ball. They will get numbers forward. But now, where is Melvin? Where is Campos? Where is Kasner? At some point, they've got to play between the lines of Stanford. Otherwise, this is very easy defending.
There's
for the Stanford Cardinal.
To do it there from Moreno, who they tried to pick out his feet, but boy, there's little space between those lines right now. That's for sure. You see, as Taylor alluded to in the open, just a high-scoring attack Clemson, which did not get untracked on Friday night, and there's no doubt it has to tonight. Nice play behind the lines, but stepping up there again is not a sink-up. Clemson in possession, unforced error. It'll be a throw-in for Stanford now. Again, in the college game, the clock ticks down. Unlimited substitution. You go out in the first half, you cannot re-enter. Second half, you can. It's a bad giveaway. It's Clemson on the attack. Kasner's making a run into the box. Here's Moreno, dances around two, gets a shot off, it's blocked. But promising moment there from Clemson.
It was a bad giveaway from the Stanford back four, but more importantly, at least Mike Noonan, the head coach of Clemson, saw a little bit more urgency going forward.
Swung in the box, Moreno tried to get in there. Well, Taylor, maybe in a way, conceding this goal could maybe jumpstart their attack.
You would think so, but obviously so early in the game. That's the earliest goal Stanford scored all season long. With the experience that Clemson has, particularly on the field and in the middle of the park with their spine, experience will come through. You don't want to give the game away early on, but more importantly, you've got to get a shot on goal. That will build more confidence than anything.
Moreno spins out of there and just gets smashed by Hilliard Arceg from Charlotte, North Carolina, who in fact Jeremy Gunn coached as a youth player. There's a good look at Jeremy Gunn. Won a national championship with Fort Lewis at the Division II level. Trying to pull it off here at the Division I level now. No doubt here. Stanford is trying to break in again, but Tarbell is just so quick off his line.
That's the second time, though, early in this game. We've seen Corey Berry with just a long touch, really giving some problems to Aaron Jones.
Tarbell there, you see some of the numbers on him. Elected as a second-team All-American. Field today is littered with All-American players, including that man, Brandon Vincent, who knocks it forward. Moreno continuing to seek out passing angles in front of the two center backs of Stanford. This is Patrick Bunk Anderson, plays it forward. Here's Moreno, nice combination play. Shooting opportunity is blocked. Tremendous block there provided by Hilliard Arceg. Again, Stanford shocking Clemson early here. Only 2 minutes in. Jordan Morris scoring the first goal of this NCAA College Cup weekend. Clemson now, though, dictating the possession here, trying to pick and probe and pull apart Stanford. can get nervy here because, boy, they can break quickly, and with Jordan Morris up front, can be problematic.
And even that kid right there, Foster Langsdorff, does a wonderful job of reading the positioning of Jordan Morris. And I love the relationship between the two, because if Jordan Morris then tucks into the midfield, Langsdorff becomes that threat up front. I think there's a real argument there to be a yellow card called.
Patrick Bunk Anderson who just hit the legs out. And it'll be another free kick now.
Langsdorff's a handful, Glenn. He really is. Friday night, I thought he was a handful. He was unlucky not to get a goal for himself. But his movement just causes so many problems for a back four. And ultimately, it exposes Jordan Morris 1v1 with the other center back.
Hard guy to play against mentally because it doesn't stop, does it?
Yep.
Corey Baird, who was so instrumental in the first goal. Tarbell will punch it out. Confidently goes back out towards the halfway line. Stanford will stick it back into the box here. And Clemson now, with the knowledge that they have got to win second balls here tonight, trying to break out. Kasner has switched back over to the left side. Ahmad Mafi wearing number 7 for Clemson. That's a player Mike Noonan made very clear that if we are doing well in the attack, you will notice that he's getting forward. Sinkham just holding the ball here at the back. The two center backs now made about 6-7 passes in a row to each other. Going for a record. Just trying to tempt Clemson forward a little bit here. Morris is the target. And Morris is going to get called for the foul. Little nudge there on Patrick Bunk Anderson. And see how hard the rain is coming down here in Kansas City. Steady downfall of rain here playing a part in this. Moreno, nice ball to Campos, who's touched Hudson down. At that time, they had breached the back line of Stanford.
That's a great ball forward from Ahmad Mafi. And Mike Noonan said this, if they get going forward, it's going to come off their left back. Mafi with a great ball in behind to Campos, but that's where Clemson needs to be a little bit more effective in the final third. Much better getting Ahmad Mafi into those positions.
Not a Sinkham. Hilliard Arce. Vincent over the top towards Morris here. Against Fisher. TJ Kasner. Skundrich. And Clemson get going here now. And it'll be a free kick.
It's just so good, though. It's so good from Oliver Shannon, because it was a bad giveaway. It was a bad layoff from Campos. And Oliver Shannon has to clean up that transition play from Stanford. That was big time. That's the third time, Glenn, we've seen this first half where Patrick Bunk Anderson has time to step into the midfield and then look for the pass. And we're talking about playing between the lines. When a team is so compact defensively the way Stanford is right now, it can come from your two center backs stepping up and trying to play a ball into that center forward up front. Right there is a great example. Now it allows Moreno to get in those spots. Moreno's got to clean up his first touch. That's 2 or 3 times he's given away too easily.
Campos trying to fight his way through. Good look at Diego Campos. He's got 4 goals, 5 assists on the year. From San Jose, Costa Rica. Moreno brought down. Oliver Shannon was saying, I had an advantage here. It's going to be a free kick. We're going to get the game's first yellow card.
And I don't think Slater Meehan has any arguments whatsoever on this challenge. I thought Friday night Ty Thompson got away with a yellow card early on. The shirt pull in Friday night, got away with one. This is a nasty challenge, and that doesn't look good for Moreno. That he rolled his ankle bad.
Clemson does have some injury issues. Aaron Jones is playing now with injury. Of course, Scott Fisher just back from clotting in his leg that forced him to miss a ton of games. This is only his 4th game. Moreno into the box it comes. Epstein will go up and make the save amongst a bunch of bodies.
When there's only 50 to 65 people in the stands, Glenn, you can hear every single thing said. How about the 4 Clemson fans behind the goal of Epstein?
We're hearing them loud and clear. We're halfway up here in the stadium. And trying to get into the head of goalkeeper Andrew Epstein. It's a switch of play now. Aaron Jones now, the right back for Clemson. Transfer from Georgia State. Jones has stayed in the attack. Over Shannon. Klaus. Overlapping run from Maffei. Kasner on the ball now for Clemson. Knocks it inside. Talis Moreno now. Clemson, 6 countries represented on the Clemson roster. Diego Campos. Brandon Vincent trying to step up. Everybody's drilling over as a left back for the next level. Buck Anderson plays it wide. Kasner down. Great diagonal run, couldn't control it. From Aaron Jones.
Confidence building though for Clemson with the ball. Better possession and a little bit more effective going forward.
Stanford down, trying to break out after winning possession. Flicked over the top. That's not a bad ball. A little bit of an awkward clear as again in there the very busy Foster Langsdorff. Hey, next Saturday it's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers at Madison Square Garden. Coach K and Duke taking on number 25 ranked Utah at noon Eastern time in a journey to the tourney game presented by Sonic. Match is also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Just get the sense right now, Glenn, that Stanford is willing to defend with all 10 players behind the ball, but then when they get into the attack, they're only really throwing 3 or 4 guys forward on the counter.
They're just so well organized, it's so difficult to break down. And this is going to be the challenge for Clemson. Brandon Vincent, who's not even looking to go forward right now, Taylor, to your point. Brandon Vincent really staying at home in the left back position, and here's that's 3 that you mentioned, but maybe 3 is good enough because here's Langsdorff, who does running for 2 or 3. Took the ball from Jordan Morris, now joining in here. Stanford moves up the field together. Corey Baird now. Tries a self pass, but it's going to earn Stanford a corner. He is busy, and he sometimes doesn't get the headlines, Corey Baird, but boy, creative and attack-oriented for sure. Ticking down towards 22 minutes left here in the first half. Numbers for Corey Baird, set to take the corner. Sophomore from Escondido, California. Towards the back post. Powerful header. And Tarbell didn't get there. Let's go down to the head coach of Stanford, Jeremy Gunn. Jeremy, thank you very much for joining us here. Just assess the first minutes here. Obviously, you got the great opening goal.
Yeah, we wanted to get after them at the beginning, and we've done that. And I think now, though, we just can't be too passive. You know, when you get a goal, sometimes you just sit back, and obviously Clemson are chasing a bit more now, so being a little bit more assertive. I think we probably need to change our tactics and bring on a super sub, I think.
Jeremy,
Donald Duck.
you have to get maybe Brandon Vincent going forward a little bit more. He seems to be very content staying at home defending, but when he gets into the attack, it feels like the game opens up for you guys a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and that's going to come from when we're opening up, switching it. You know, if it's already on his foot on the first side, he's not going to be moving, I don't think. So if we can get a little bit more possession, the fullbacks will definitely join in. But at the moment, you know, we're in a half a little bit too much, and hopefully we can be a bit more aggressive.
So who's Donald Duck?
Well, in these conditions, he might be the best player out there.
Thank you, Jeremy. Got a good smile out of Jeremy Gunn there. First team All-American at CSU Bakersfield. Here comes Clemson now. Kasner's cross is headed away by Nana Sinkum. Some good signs, though, that TJ Kasner tonight, Taylor, seems to be a little bit more involved.
I would agree with that, and I think in large part that's because Diego Campos ahead of him is occupying the two center backs, and he's making that back line of Stanford take 2 or 3 steps a little deeper than they were Friday night against Akron. Kasner's finding more space today.
Yeah, against Syracuse, they had a hard time penetrating and getting in behind the Syracuse defense. Nice penetrating pass. Here's Moreno. Now, can he do anything in this position? Got it tackled away. It's an awkward deflection. Epstein's going to just knock it up into the stands. You got a few of your own fans here today.
Yeah.
Chanting for you.
Well, Kansas City's only 3 hours, 3.5 hours from St. Louis, and I only have 100 cousins, so I think they're here.
Those are family members?
No, those are actually Clemson fans, so I have absolutely no idea why they're chanting my name.
Any Clemson lineage? There's a lot of Twelmans out there.
It's a slow Sunday. Fans are screaming my name at a College Cup final.
What would we do without those 10 guys here?
Well, I don't know. I'm $200 less in my pocket because I paid him to do it.
Here comes Clemson again now, trying to figure this out. Aaron Jones knocked it forward. Thompson now trying to spin out of there with an industrious midfielder he is. Speaking of a family lineage, just like the Twelman family, well, the Thompson family. Father Greg was a professional soccer player, played in Indiana. Bunk Anderson heads it through. Headed away by Nana Sinkum. Just swept into space here now. Long touch from Baird is easily read.
But much better from Aaron Jones, though, Glenn, because the 2 or 3 times that Corey Baird has had the opportunity to take him on, he's been reluctant making that decision. Much better recognition from Aaron Jones. You just get the sense right now Stanford is baiting Clemson to throw numbers forward and then all of a sudden catch him on the counter with Ainsworth and Morris up front.
Switch of play from Jones. Mafi will get the shot off and it blasted wide. So the left back joining in again. Receiving that pass from the right back, Aaron Jones. In midfield, who had some very, very good minutes off the bench against Syracuse. Mike Noonan was very happy with his play. So he has come on now. And helped win that turf war in center midfield. Moreno got it wide. Here's Casno. Maffei now has joined him. Clemson backing Stanford in here. And a quick combination play, it doesn't come off. Jordan Morris here in a foot race. That's a hard scissored down. The entire Stanford bench, including Jeremy Gunn, up. And it'll be a yellow card.
Well, and Jeremy Gunn wants to have a discussion with the referee or the fourth official on the sideline here. That's a scissor. Watch the left leg come in behind on Jordan Morris here, Glenn. I mean, there is a real argument there. That's a red card.
No doubt. 300%.
I mean, Jeremy Gunn's asking the question, but he didn't even play the ball. Aaron Jones had made up his mind that no matter what, Jordan Morris was coming down. That scissor leg behind it. Aaron Jones gets away with one.
And I think the turn of pace from Jordan Morris put him in a position where he said, look, I'm not going to get anything here except the man.
It also has to be concerning for head coach Mike Noonan for the Clemson Tigers, because anything dangerous going forward for Stanford has gone right at Aaron Jones at right back.
Meehan for Stanford and Jones for Clemson with yellows. One back here. It's Verso. He gets stood up by Patrick Bunk Anderson. Some spaces opened up. Here's Alex Happy now for Clemson. To Maffei. They've got a couple of players captive in the box. Iman Maffei to the end line. Can't turn the corner. Goes down. It'll be a goal kick. Defended well.
Textbook defending from Drew Skundrich. Textbook defending.
Skundrich, who was a center midfielder last year, according to Jeremy Gunn, had an amazing season here, a breakthrough season, and lived up to the challenge of playing as a right back.
But he's your old-fashioned right back, where he stay at home, he'll provide cover. I think the more surprising thing for Jeremy Gunn and his team in this first half is how little Brandon Vincent's gone forward. If you know Aaron Jones on the opposite side of you has a yellow card, it may just take one overlapping run from Brandon Vincent. You cause a problem, or more importantly, you may draw a second yellow and get Clemson Tigers down a man.
Switch and play. Corey Baird had tucked in. Some of the best USA soccer Clemson's had. Kicks a deflection. Clemson's playing a handball here. Epstein will distribute to his right. Clemson in the midst of some of their best soccer this weekend. Still down a goal to Stanford. It was 2 minutes in. Jordan Morris. Glenn Davis alongside Taylor Twellman. We're here at Sporting Park in Kansas City, Kansas. Stanford and Clemson for a national championship here today. Direct ball over the top. Headed away by Fisher. Collected by Jones now. Maffei, Kastner's touch is long. It leads to this for Stanford now. Corey Baird, who just absolutely relishes running at people.
He's been good in this first half, though. Opening play to get Jordan Morris's goal, but more importantly, he's just been dangerous every time the ball's been at his feet.
On a sinking back to Andrew Epstein. Jeremy Gunn said about his goalkeeper, the longer the season went on, the more important and timely saves Andrew Epstein came up with. Stanford, Taylor, they're just so well organized, aren't they?
They are, but I think Jeremy Gunn in his interview was 100% correct. I think they're too passive right now. They do have this ability, is immediately when the ball turns over, they can explode on the counter. But Glenn, I just think they're a little too passive. Vincent hasn't crossed half field once in the first half. You're talking about arguably one of your best attackers coming from a deep line position.
So you want to see a little pushback,
no doubt about it,
from Stanford here.
Because on the other side of things, you've got Clemson, who's built all this momentum with the possession. They feel confident coming forward. The second goal puts this game away for the Stanford Cardinal. We go back to that argument from the Clemson Tigers. Kasner, the ball's deflected. It looks like it hits Hilliard Arce right in the chest. Does it hit him in the arm?
No.
I think that was the right no call.
Yep, great camera work there. Looked like it went off the chest of the very talented Tomas Hilliard Arce. Hilliard Arce has 3 goals himself on the year.
And Amir Bashti now comes into this game. Glenn, I think this is a good sub from Jeremy Gunn. Yes, you give Langsdorff a little bit of a break, but Bashti has the ability on a counter to open this game up, and then it ultimately pushes Jordan Morris on the last defender.
Crossing ball and headed away again by Stanford. Shooting opportunity to volley. With a little bit of venom there, flared over the top. NCAA Men's College Cup is presented by Northwestern Mutual. Proud to be an official financial planning partner of the NCAA. So a little bit of a warning shot fired from Clemson. And there's a good look. Amir Bashti, who certainly helps with the possession play of Stanford. To take the throw. Senior from Valencia, California, All-American. Level-headed, composed left back that many clubs in MLS have real eyes on.
I thought that was the best quote from interviewing Jeremy Gunn. I said, what can you tell us about Brandon Vincent? He goes, he's the guy that I always wanted to be. And I said, Coach, what does that mean? He goes, he's the coolest guy around. He says very few words, but when he does,
people listen.
Yep. He's got a cool, slick way of doing it, and then obviously we had a good laugh because there's no chance Jeremy Gunn could ever pull that off.
Well, we had the opportunity to speak with Brandon Vincent and some of his teammates on Thursday. Boy, all these kids on all these teams have really been impressive in our conversations with them.
Interesting storyline, though. You've got an English coach on Stanford coaching a bunch of Americans, and then you've got an American coach on Clemson and Mike Noonan coaching a bunch of foreigners.
Kasner gets struck down.
But see, that's better, though, Clem, from TJ Kasner. You didn't see that at all Friday night. TJ Kasner was very reluctant to even be getting into the game, taking players one-on-one. They're down 1-0, but this has been at least some urgency in the attack for the Clemson Tigers, and now you bring on Kyle Murphy that gives you a different look as a number 9 up front. Remember, in the first half, they had 0 shots. Today, if my numbers are correct, Glenn, I think they've got, what, 5-6 shots? Clemson's more active going forward today. But how many of those have been dangerous? That's ultimately what the question is here.
Vincent stabs it. First touch, not the best for Kyle Murphy, who's come on, but as mentioned, has 8 goals on the year. Noonan trying to do anything to block his team. But here is Bashti. He will pull a shot wide after doing all the hard work.
It's the first touch, though, that Amir Bashti sets himself up perfectly to get in behind. Watch this first touch. That's a difficult ball to bring down, but then this touch lets him down right there. Patrick Bunk Anderson slides over, does his job to push him away from goal, but that touch from Amir Bashti, if he sets it up and hits it a little bit earlier, he may have had Tarbell off guard. Good touch from Bashti to get him behind.
Towering header from Hilliard Arce. He's going to get a shot at the aerial game again, and he wins it again. Needs to be a center back on Stanford, though, because there's not a lot of teams that penetrate out wide against you. Kasner's got a little bit of luck here today. Or might they say success. Stanford's won it back. Big switch of play. Jordan Morris is the target. Boy, they look to him quickly.
But Jordan Morris has to be in this game more. Too often we've seen, yes, an early goal, and it's been good. But the impact I'm talking about, Glenn, is he's got to be an option up front. How many touches has Jordan Morris had since the goal? Maybe 3 touches. A player with that international experience at this level, which could be his last game in college, Jordan Morris needs to get involved more for Jeremy Gunn and the Stanford Cardinal.
He has traveled the globe with the U.S. national team. He's been to Brazil, Ireland, Croatia. He's had 8 touches so far in this game, but he's had the one that nobody else has had, the one that has produced the only goal 2 minutes in. A stunning start here for Stanford. Looking to win their first ever men's college soccer national championship. Clemson switch of play now. Aaron Jones, good first touch here. A bend across and diving header from Hilliard Arce. Maffei now. Trying to squeeze one too many passes through there is Clemson. Self-pass here from Eric Verso, who's been very dangerous. Morris the target, and Targo sliding and smothering. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the women's volleyball championship. Semifinal action begins Thursday, December 17th at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Lots of storylines coming out of Kansas City, Kansas. Certainly throughout this week. Friday night, both semifinals decided by penalty kicks. More on Jordan Morris, and of course Clemson have won 2 titles, Taylor. Trying to get themselves a 3rd national championship.
It's amazing to think these 2 programs have only met once. And that was in the quarterfinals in 2002.
That was an interesting nugget when you think about it. 2 very storied programs.
Yep.
Played wide now. This is Kyle Murphy. Tell you what, Tomas Hilliard Arce has been very, very solid here in the aerial game at the center back position so far, and in covering here today for Stanford.
The part of his game that I'm very impressed with was he grew up as a midfielder, and I think Jeremy Gunn realized that that would help them deal with the runs in behind. He would read the game. He reads the passing lanes very well. You've seen that in this College Cup, both the semifinals and the final today.
They pulled it out towards the top of the box. Moreno was sitting there and wait, but it was cut out by Stanford. Less than 5 minutes left here in the first half. Jeremy Gunn also made mention we could potentially rotate more players here today because of that quick turnaround you mentioned, Taylor.
You have to. It's impossible to ask players to play 2 semifinal and final games. Less than 40 hours.
He's got space, gets a crossover. Player goes down in the box trying to draw a penalty, not going to get it.
It's all about survival of the fittest when it comes to these College Cup finals.
What you played from Aaron Jones, Bunk Anderson. Nice ball whipped out wide to Maffei, who remained in the attack. Here's Ahmad Maffei. Clemson left back, who gets turned away by Skundrich. Once again repelled by Stanford as Clemson trying to go central there. They will make a change. Saul Chinchilla will come on. And it's an interesting story because he has been a starter from Cartago, Costa Rica, but has been bothered by some injury problems that have forced him to kind of take a back seat here.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
My name's Khalil Lanier. I'm a human bio major graduating in 2020.
You just correct that thing cross court.
Saying, have we met?
Being a human bio major and trying to balance that crazy major with a volleyball schedule definitely is a hard time. Being a USC volleyball player is just a reminder of how hard I've worked to get to this point.
She's getting stronger as the match goes along.
I know, like, getting All-American last year is a huge honor, but just being a USC volleyball player, I always do want to strive for more, and I always do want what's best for the team.
Wow, Khalil Lanier changes the conversation again.
In a community that I love to be a part of, a community that I feel loved by.
Lanier, who puts it away again. I like Lanier on those high ball opportunities.
My name is Khalil Lanier. Go Trojans.
Every year, millions of working American families and their children hide their struggle with hunger. It doesn't need to be that way. Hunger hides, but we can help. Let's end hunger in America.
Growing problem for him. Fisher knocks it back. Noonan actually said he wants more out of Kyle Fisher. He thought he was a bit passive in the semifinal. And again, it's only his fourth game back from a very serious injury. Must have paid them also.
It's crazy. Look at how good Stanford defends in their 2 blocks of 4. Clemson's had possession, no doubt about it. The stats aren't going to lie, but Clemson really hasn't been able to break them down at all.
Spinning, turning Moreno went off the referee pencil. To make that number 19 Kyle Murphy. They get it wide. Aaron Jones now, who's a lot more active trying to go forward. Trying to play in Alex Happy. No call for a penalty there. Chinchilla came buzzing across the face of Andrew Epstein. Was Penn so decisive? Nothing there.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Andrew Epstein comes off the line. He gets ball right after the touch, but I'm stunned that that's not called as a penalty. He comes off his line, Glenn. We'll get an opportunity to show the replay in a moment here. Comes off his line, yeah, he gets the ball, but he goes right through Saul Chinchilla.
Chinchilla now trying to get into the box. Still buzzing around. He's come on with boundless energy. Cross-whipped and headed straight up in the air.
So is Iman Mafi. Mafi, Glenn, excuse me, has done a wonderful job over the last 10 to 12 minutes. Get forward.
He's just basically stayed forward.
I agree. He's playing as a left winger right now, and why not? Stanford's defending with 8 guys behind the ball. There's no reason to drop back, but Chinchilla gets the first touch, or watch. He gets a little touch. Epstein comes out. I've seen that called 9 out of 10 times. He's going right through the player.
Yeah, we've seen the call. For me,
you're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
If Chinchilla doesn't get the first touch there, then I think okay. But because of that first touch, That's a hard one to argue. We'll find a way.
What you said is the real truth, and that is we've seen it called, and we've not seen it called, and fortunately for Stanford, it wasn't. Differing opinions here from a forward and a defender. Here comes Stanford now. Morris is joining the attack late. He's happy now. We'll go back to the goalkeeper, Andrew Tarbell. Tarbell's got a civil engineering degree. That's what he's working on.
Other than the early goal, hasn't been a great half from Stanford. They've been very direct, very...
And that's going to do it. They struck early through that man, Jordan Morris. Tremendous goal. Stanford in the second minute. That is the difference, though. As Clemson has found a little bit of confidence here in pressing Stanford. Another look at Jordan Morris's opening goal in the first 2 minutes. It's Stanford 1, Clemson 0. Stanford looking for their first ever men's soccer national championship. And welcome back, everybody. I'm Glenn Davis, alongside me, former New England Revolution striker, U.S. national team striker Taylor Twellman. All right, let's get some of your initial thoughts here on the first 45 minutes. Obviously, we were stunned and shocked to see a goal here.
Yeah, I think so, in particular because of the quick turnaround. Obviously, semifinals Friday night, you're thinking tired legs, but Stanford came out right away, got a big-time goal. But I think the last 25 to 30 minutes of the first half, it was all Clemson. I think Stanford was way too passive. They're counting on Jordan Morris just trying to break down 3 or 4 defenders. But when you look at the first half highlights, Glenn, it's all about Jordan Morris. And the one opportunity he got, he put it away. But you love the activity from Baird, putting this touch in behind Aaron Jones. And then Verso coming in the backside, clean first touch, playing in Jordan Morris. We saw this 2 or 3 times, but that was about it. The one thing Mike Noonan wanted to avoid was a game opening up for Jordan Morris to expose. They got that 2 minutes into this game, but that was it. The remainder of the first half was all about Clemson going forward. But the only thing that matters right now for Stanford and Jeremy Glenn is they got the one opportunity in Jordan Morris.
Love this little run from Morris, who let it run to a teammate. And boy, he just absolutely hit that with pure power to give Stanford that lead. First half stats take a bite out of this. We see Clemson's attack maybe coming to life a little bit here based on that initial goal.
Of course, and also think about it. Clemson 6 shots. They had 0 shots the first half Friday night. I think Mike Noonan was very pleased with how the first half ended, but at some point he needs a threat inside that 18-yard box to ultimately break down the Stanford defense.
The NCAA Men's College Cup is presented by Northwestern Mutual, proud to be an official financial planning partner of the NCAA. Stanford, 45 minutes away from a national championship. Clemson will have a say in that here. It would be their first ever for the Cardinal, and Clemson seeking out their third. Glenn Davis alongside Taylor Twellman. We saw Stanford produce their fastest goal of the year through that man, Jordan Morris, only 2 minutes in. And it's game on here in the second half for a national championship. Saul Chinchilla remains in the lineup for Clemson. Clemson in the white, Stanford in the red and black stripes. This is Kyle Fisher, an All-American. Back to Andrew Tarbell. Picks up where he left off. Hilliard Arce has been dominant in the air as a center back for Stanford. Verso to Jordan Morris. He's got a good run on Corey Baird. Morris to Baird now. Thompson. Thompson is going to try it. Took a deflection off the post. Stanford almost hits a second. And as much as they were sitting back in the first half, they have come out here in the second half to try and push back against Clemson, Taylor.
Almost identical to the first half, Glenn, the way the game started. Ty Thompson stepping up, finding a ton of space to able to hit it. Lucky for Tarbell, that hit's supposed to come out.
When Sheila goes down, he's going to earn a free kick. Iman Mafi now for Clemson. And we know the great alumni that have played for both these historic programs, Stanford and Clemson. They're likely tuning in here today from all around the country. Talis Moreno. Quick feet. He'll get it wide. Cross is blocked, cut out by Brandon Vincent. It'll be a corner for Clemson.
Thompson steps up with a ton of space here. No pressure on the ball from Clemson. And with the wet field, a little deflection over Buck Anderson. Unlucky. Set pieces. Keep an eye on Brandon Vincent. Near post for the Stanford Cardinal.
Moreno for Clemson. Swings it in. Epstein comes out. We're going to call a foul on Clemson there, impeding Andrew Epstein trying to get on the end of that punch. Look at Mike Noonan, the head coach of Clemson. His brother flew all night to get here from Hawaii. Brother Mark, who was involved with Major League Soccer, now with the National Surf League. And I said, let us know when that next National Surf League event is. Taylor and I will join you wherever that is. Hawaii's a nice destination. But his brother Mark here in support of Mike Noonan. It's back now, Andrew Tarbell. Moreno found a pocket of space, brings it down. It seems to be getting more of the ball. Mafi now. Chinchilla, feathery control. Moreno. Brought down free kick for Clemson. My apologies, that's Kyle Murphy broke down.
And you can hear Mike Noonan on the sideline screaming for Kyle Murphy to stay high. Kyle Murphy's natural tendency, because coming out of high school, he was more of a winger, but his natural tendency is to come inside. Mike Noonan, the head coach, begging Kyle Murphy to stay as high as he can to open up the space underneath.
Red Hook, New York, 8 goals. A redshirt senior. Kasner stands over this. Does he go for gold? Does he go for glory here? He does. He bends it just right. Not a bad offering there from TJ Kasner, the All-American.
And hit with some real pace. Andrew Epstein knew this was the way it was going to go. TJ Kasner doing anything he can to get something on target for the Clemson Tigers. It's been that kind of College Cup so far for TJ Kasner.
Again, a reminder, in the college game, the clock ticks down. In the second half, if you're subbed out once, you can return. So substitution patterns by coaches, especially on a second game in 3 days, can make a big difference.
Every run tonight from Jordan Morris has been immediately looking for that killer ball. I just think right now with this team under pressure defensively, can Jordan Morris maybe keep possession and be more of a target?
Here's a run for Morris. He gets spun, he gets turned, and Jordan Morris has scored again.
Or you do that.
Unbelievable effort. There's the response. Jordan Morris with a diagonal run, a spin, and a finish. It's Stanford 2-0.
And while I've been critical of Jordan Morris tonight being an option, being a target player, the one thing he has done from the opening whistle is to plant the seed in the 2 center backs of the Clemson Tigers. Going one way. Immediately when that ball turns over, again, Corey Barrett looking for that killer ball. And the 2015 Pac-12 Player of the Year has put the Stanford Cardinal on his shoulders. 2 goals in what just may be his final game in college soccer.
Goals of quality from Jordan Morris here, and this is a big mountain now for Clemson to climb because this is a very well-organized Stanford under Jeremy Gunn. And the response was a good one, Taylor, because Clemson had provided a little bit of a pushback of their own prior to this.
But the difference is Stanford has the one player that can open up a game and kill you, while Clemson is just begging to have one of their players up front be dangerous in the final third.
Deflection, Epstein punched it straight down. Shooting opportunity, a chance to pull a goal back. And it's a feeble attempt at the end. But what a response that could have been for TJ Kasner and Clemson. That might have been your ticket back into this game.
Glenn, when you just have conversations with Jurgen Klinsmann and his staff, the maturation of Jordan Morris will come at the next level. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, is understanding the other aspects of the game, whether it's your hold-up play, whether it's been in the right spot defensively. But the one part of the game that has that Jurgen Klinsmann loves about Jordan Morris are his instincts in the final third. We've seen it tonight. We've seen it with the Olympic team. We've seen it with the under-20s. We've seen it with the full national team. His instincts in the final third of when to make that kind of run and finish the play off is a big reason why their clubs in Europe and the Seattle Sounders want to make him the highest paid home goal player in Major League Soccer history.
Everybody's aware he's not the finished product, and that's a good thing because they know his game can expand in a very, very big way. Morris has to flick it over the top. It'll go to Andrew Tarbell. Morris in the second, Morris in the 51st, and he has been a one-man goal-scoring machine here today.
But you have to give credit to Eric Verso and Corey Baird, both players with 13 assists on the season. They've done a great job of finding that right moment to either play the killer ball, finish the play off by themselves. But both Baird and Verso have been very good today.
We're back to the Ohio State match in the round of 16, and Jordan Morris had a pair of goals in that game as well. Erwin Vincent will make that. Foster Langsdorff, another one we need to mention because his constant movement and mobility is very unsettling for opposing defenses. Skundrich. That's in the game's next goal. That's nothing earth-shattering, I'm saying.
I think the biggest decision for Jordan Morris, though, is Glenn, he needs to play. So when he moves on to the next level, let's say he signs for the Seattle Sounders next year. Is he going to play over Obafemi Martins and Clint Dempsey?
Chinchilla's cross, it will be a goal kick. Yeah, not likely.
No, and that's why it's got to be a huge talking point of what Jordan Morris's next move is. It's got to be smart regarding getting an opportunity to play.
NCAA Men's College Cup presented by Northwestern Mutual, proud to be an official financial planning partner of the NCAA. But I don't think a Seattle coach takes him in there without getting him real minutes in his first year as a pro, Taylor.
But then you're sitting down Obafemi Martins, Clint Dempsey, Nelson Valdez.
Injuries, a lot of games. I think if you're taking him, the plan has to include comprehensively that you're going to play him in matches in order to accelerate his development. Goes off a Chinchilla. It'll be a throw-in for Stanford. Let's take a look at some of the touches, shots, and goals here, Taylor, for Jordan Morris.
Well, the most important thing, he's a goal scorer. So the most important thing, while 10 touches I think is too few for a player of his quality at this level, the most important thing is he's had 2 opportunities to put the ball away, and he's done it both times.
And therein lies the real beauty. We can break his game down all we want. He's got 2 goals here today. And he's got Stanford in the driver's seat to win a national championship. But a lot of soccer here to be played.
But Glenn, it's the life of a goal scorer, right? So yes, you look at it, he's got 2 goals, but at the next level, and it took me a long time to realize it, Glenn, that your hold-up play and your play in the middle third ultimately leads to goal-scoring opportunities in the final third.
So here's Clemson with a real opportunity off this corner to maybe pull a goal back here, grab momentum, and trying to stir this game up here. Off the corner. It's a player fronting Brandon Epstein, Andrew Epstein, and one behind him. Delivery comes to the far post. Tremendous header from Nanasinkum. Kastner now for Clemson. Off the turn. This is promising. They pull it back. They can't get the shot off. And the offside flag was up.
Chinchilla has come into this College Cup final and been extremely dangerous. We saw in the first half he had arguably a penalty called on Andrew Epstein. This is a great turn, but just badly timed run for Kyle Murphy. He's a half a second too early, and that limits Chinchilla's option to play the ball in front of him.
Thompson knocks it down. Nanasinkum will go the direct route to Jordan Morris. It's a wonderful matchup with Kyle Fisher. Two first-team All-Americans going at it. Back to your point on Chinchilla, Taylor, he is 17 times been a starter this year. This is one of the underlying stories of injury that Clemson has, and that's why his time has been limited. But you're right, he has stirred this game up here today for Clemson. Good look at Chinchilla. Mafi. Chinchilla in the hole, was pushed back by Thompson. Clemson trying to work that combination play. Klaus trying to join in a bit more now. Second team All-American from England. Next Saturday, it's Holiday Hoops, presented by K Jewelers at Madison Square Garden. Coach K and the number 8 Duke Blue Devils hosting the 25th ranked Utah Utes at noon Eastern Time in a journey to the tourney game presented by Sonic. Also streams live on Watch ESPN. Skundrich has continued his run forward. Bunk Anderson, Chinchilla. Iman Mafi now tightrope walking along this sideline. Will clip it over the top. Going to make Kyle Murphy run here, but this will be shielded out for a goal kick. First time to the College Cup for Clemson in 10 years. He finds themselves down to Jeremy Gunn and Stanford here. For Stanford, the first College Cup appearance since 2002. Pressing play from Langsdorff of Stanford. He is a busy striker, not one you want to play against. Covering every blade of grass here at Sporting Park.
An impressive kid. 2013 Portland Timbers Academy Player of the Year. I've been very impressed with Langsdorff and Morris's relationship up front. Ultimately, Glenn, that's what Jeremy Gunn has done, hasn't he? Will defend with 8, maybe 9 guys and allow the 2 guys up front to open up the game and hope from a little piece of magic from Verso Barrett coming out of the midfield.
It's worked like a charm. There's Jordan Morris now, who seems to be feeling it. Slows down, accelerates. It's Jordan Morris. It's still Jordan Morris. Squares it back. It'll be a corner for Clemson. No, they're going to give him a goal kick. But Jordan Morris now showing us a different quality there, running at defenders.
And I think he's had 3 or 4 opportunities to do this. I know he did Friday night, and even today, he's had opportunities to get the chance to take defenders on 1-on-1. I think the referee missed one. That looked like a corner, but much better from Jordan Morris impacting the game here.
Keller loved that little, when he's running at a defender, kind of hesitates, slows down, and then explodes and separated himself.
And those are instincts, Glenn. Those are instincts that it's very difficult to teach a player that to understand the feel.
Well, there's more instincts. A good ball from Morris and a saving tackle from Mafi.
And now we see Jordan Morris being the provider. We saw this Friday night with he and Langsdorff. Great tackle from Mafi to come in late and win that possession. But now Jordan Morris and Langsdorff proven to be the difference today.
Just another note on Langsdorff. Langsdorff is a former central midfielder turned into a striker. So another thing, if you're projecting out to Major League Soccer, it's a guy that certainly is very versatile and could play a number of different roles. Rain continuing to come down here at Sporting Park in Kansas City, Kansas. Glenn Davis, Taylor Twellman. Hope you're enjoying this on ESPN. Stanford with a 2-0 lead over Clemson, looking for a national championship. It would be the first ever in men's college soccer. We got changes coming now for Clemson, as they will bring on Diego Campos will return. And Austin Bernicle, who's got the rib problems, he will come on. Actually playing with a broken rib, has had problems breathing. Off Dallas Moreno. Baird just got crumpled to the ground with a huge tackle, and he's still down. You could hear that one from up here, and he's clutching his shoulder.
Well, it was actually on the fall, Glenn. He lands very awkwardly on his right shoulder. He's had a good game. He really has for me. From the opening play of the game, he's been very good. I thought Jeremy Gunn was hysterical describing Corey Baird. He's like, he wears number 10. He thinks he's a number 10, and he plays left midfield for me. All right-footed, very dynamic coming inside, but he's been very good today.
What was the other line he had? He said both Eric Verso and Corey Baird want to be number 10s, and he said basically we're playing with two number 10s. Yep. So and we're unique. We're playing with two number 10s, and you guys are those players, Verso and Corey Baird. I love this like 13 assists this year for Corey Baird. Puts him right up there at the top. Number 2 in the country. Also, by the way, plays at the also at Lake Academy. Mafi. Vertical was trying to chest it forward. Here's space now on the far left side of the field, and here comes Brandon Vincent now, chugging forward. Sweeping tackle and a beauty. Break that up by Aaron Jones. Brandon Vincent making a foray forward here. With the top, it's Morris again. So explosive from a standing position. Vincent's got a crossing opportunity, whips it in. It was a great ball. Tremendous ball from Brandon Vincent.
And it's taken 20 minutes into the second half till we've seen it doesn't have a good MLS career at the next level. He's athletically very gifted, confident going forward. You're talking about a player that can play center back his freshman, sophomore year, junior, senior year. He's two-time Pac-12 Defender of the Year, but he's a player, I think, at the next level that will get his opportunities. He reminds me a little bit of Sean Franklin, but better technically than Sean Franklin is.
A little wider and stouter. But yeah, that's a nice comparison. And by the way, it's and you mentioned the versatility again makes him even more appealing in Major League Soccer. Jordan Morris working on a hat trick. One pass away from it. It's broken up there. Tucking in beautifully to make the play was Aaron Jones of Clemson. Klaus under pressure, almost got surprised there by Ty Thompson. Kasner. Campos. Mafi. Skundrich is just going to clear his lines there for Stanford.
Have the two Stanford center backs ever looked out of place in these two games?
They're like immovable objects, aren't they? Positionally, they're so rooted to the middle.
They just never look like they're under any kind of stress whatsoever.
And they carry themselves very effortlessly. That's going to be a free kick. And not happy about it is Foster Langsdorff. Let's go down to the Clemson bench to Mike Noonan. Mike, your thoughts on being down 2-0 here and getting this game's next goal?
Well, we switched off twice and they've capitalized both times, but other than that, we pretty much had the lion's share of possession, and we just got to be able to penetrate them inside the penalty box. They're very, very good defensively.
Mike, what's been the biggest issue for you on that penetration? Possession has been easy for you guys. You've dictated the tempo of the game, but like Friday night, it's been that final player, that final pass.
It's the mobility up front more than anything else, in the running off the ball and the third-man combinations more than anything else.
Mike, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Best of luck as it continues. So Mike Noonan pointing out movement and mobility of his front players. But then I would say to you, Taylor, got to give credit to Stanford as well, because they don't give you a lot of space, do they?
No, they don't. But one of the criticisms I told you on Thursday coming into this College Cup was that Clemson just doesn't have a go-to player up front. They've got multiple guys that can hurt you, but they don't have that ruthless attacker in the final third, and I think it's shown in these two games.
Clemson going on 180 minutes without a goal. And they've got a set piece here, though, to try and get themselves back into this.
Glenn, 180 minutes without a goal, but they were top 5 in the NCAA in scoring. Remember, early on in the second half, Kasner stepped up, tried to go near post on Epstein. If he can get this up and over the wall with this wet turf, it could cause a problem for Epstein.
Here's Kasner. Wall does its job, goes right into the midsection of the Stanford wall. Jordan Morris was in there as well. Tarbell is going to go the direct route here. Second ball, and that's picked up by Thompson, who just does all that little unnoticed dirty work. This is a challenging back pass here for Tarbell, who does very well with it. Until this distribution. Clemson making more changes now. Alex Happy will come back on. Michael Melvin will come back on. It's not as if Mike Noonan isn't trying everything, Taylor. He's giving people opportunities. Changing things up positionally. He's trying everything he can here. Get Clemson untracked here.
I mean, it's ultimately about putting the players in good spots to succeed. He's tried every kind of formation, formula of attacking players. I will say this, I do think you're chasing the game now. You've got 20 minutes left in this game. Wouldn't you think he may go to 2 strikers up front instead of playing the 1 with 4 guys underneath?
Just maybe occupy 2 center backs and see what you can do. Stanford off the throw. Morris with a self-pass, and they're going to the penalty spot. Jordan Morris with an individual moment has earned a penalty for Stanford.
You could just see the frustration for this Clemson team building up to this. There was a throw-in, the ball's going out, you've got Aaron Jones yelling, Paul Klaus yelling at everyone. There's no argument. Paul Klaus slides right over, he doesn't play the ball whatsoever. Frustration is definitely settled in for Clemson Tigers at this College Cup final.
Brandon Vincent, the left back, the senior, to take the penalty against Andrew Tarbell.
4 for 5 this year, Glenn, in these types of situations. Friday night, he was clinical to the keeper's left on his penalty.
Don't forget, he had one against Wake Forest that he skimmed off the crossbar. Now, this could put it away potentially here for Stanford. It's Vincent. It's Vincent. He's running. It's Stanford 3. Clemson 0. Brandon Vincent delivers from the penalty spot.
Today simply comes down to one team being clinical with their opportunities. Your 2 best players, Brandon Vincent and Jordan Morris, have shown up for the Stanford Cardinal in big moments. Their first national title looks to be in hand. Stanford Cardinal all day long here in Kansas City.
They do win this national championship here today, which certainly looks likely that that is going to occur. It would be the 40th consecutive year that Stanford's athletic program has won a national championship. That's pretty remarkable.
Glenn, they've won 107 NCAA national championships in school history.
Kasner. TJ Kasner. Again, right into that heart of the Stanford defense. And breaking that play up, Nana Sikkim. Hilliard Arce, that ball will go all the way back to Clemson. Stanford trying to make history here today. You know, the other thing, Taylor, that's been so impressive to me is the attitude and just the application that they seem to have game in and game out. Jeremy Gunn has said that has not wavered throughout the year. Combination play here from Clemson, down 3 goals. This is a long-range hit, and that flares to the right of Andrew Epstein. Capital One Cup standings, let's take a look at them. Teams compete for a combined $400,000 in scholarship donation from Capital One. And you see on the women's side, Penn State, they won the women's national championship last weekend. Erica Walsh and company. Men's standings, Syracuse and UCLA tied with 20 points.
Here we go, guys.
TJ Kasner had some bright moments early. It has come off now.
But to go back to your story about Jeremy Gunn and how impressive the attitude of this team is, it's also been their attention to detail. And I was talking to Stanford alum Bobby Warshaw yesterday, and he told me a great story how he was training with the team 2 or 3 weeks ago in their attention to detail. Jeremy Gunn absolutely, Glenn, lost it on setting up a wall defending a free kick. The next day of training, all the players were talking about and reminding each other were the attention to detail. They had Jordan Morris sitting in the wall, and they didn't want a center forward in that wall. I just think it's a great story that Bobby Warshaw shared with me about Jeremy Gunn's attention to detail and the players accepting that and embracing it. And I think we've seen it in this College Cup.
And there is Jordan Morris right there talking to his coach. And just to add on to that a little bit, one thing that Jeremy Gunn mentioned to me was that the relationship with a sports psychologist they have, Dr. Dan Frygang, who's been with him since his days all the way back when he won a Division II national championship with Fort Lewis, which is out of Durango, Colorado. So he's had this long-standing relationship with a sports psychologist and friendship. Ty Thompson getting a well-deserved break. Still going at defenders. Versa. Still Versa. Let's go number 4. It is a wrap. Stanford has scored again. It was a one-man show.
There's an absolute clinic being put on by the Stanford Cardinal about how efficient you need to be in a College Cup final. They haven't had many opportunities today. They haven't dominated possession, but they've completely taken every chance going forward and shoved it right in the Clemson Tigers' face. Eric Verso with an assist on Jordan Morris's first goal. The redshirt senior, most assists in the Pac-12 with a great finish. This one's over.
Kyle Fisher, the All-American center back there, who is only 4 games back after compartment syndrome, which basically is clotting in a leg. Didn't really seem to make a stand there either, Taylor. The 18 just continued to drop off, and it was bent around him beautifully by Verso. So Stanford going to work on managing this out now. Less than 17 minutes left. It is 4-0 Cardinal. Iman Mafi now for Clemson. Toss to the back post. Mafi besieged by black and red stripes. It's just knocked over the halfway line now. Clemson trying to get TJ Kasner back on. Nobody there. How many times, Taylor, have we just seen that final ball just left for nobody there in and around the top of the box?
And as much as I want to give credit to Stanford defensively, and I do think a large part of that is their credit, but Glenn, this was the same story for Clemson in the final third against Syracuse as well.
Syracuse is going to feel very hard done not to be in this final if they're looking at this. You know, the way they went out was very cruel after a very determined Clemson defensive effort.
But when you watch tapes from Clemson all year long, they can score goals. Top 5 in the NCAA in scoring goals. But the quarterfinal against Maryland wasn't the best. In these 2 games, they have really struggled and looked anemic going forward.
Yeah, and to their defense a little bit, they have had some injury problems that really haven't been released. Sal Chinchilla, groin. Campos has had a hip flexor problem. I mean, it's not an excuse, Mike Noonan said, but some of the timeliness of these injuries that have occurred have certainly affected them to a degree. But that would make a difference today.
Yeah, but it also was very impressive to me that Mike Noonan was so humble about it and so open and realistic. Yep. He didn't sugarcoat it. No, he said it. We need to get going forward. We did it all year long. We just need to find a way. And I think today they just went into a better team defensively and obviously a more effective team and more efficient team going forward.
Mike Noonan very candid in our interview in the semifinals. He's basically saying, look, this was a very good Syracuse team. He didn't think that his team had played to their potential, certainly from an attacking standpoint, and that, of course, Syracuse had created more chances.
A long time, Glenn, a long time since we've seen 4 goals scored in a national championship, let alone 4 goals by one team. 1996.
Good friend Dave Major and St. John's beating Florida International. Great coach Dave. And off comes Jordan Morris.
Jordan Morris, Corey Baird, Eric Versell, everybody coming off, and all 3 deserve a hand because all 3 had a huge impact. I mean, you look at the stats, there's 10 shots for Clemson, only 1 on goal. 6 for Stanford, 3 on goal. They've got 4 goals. And it was weird, too, because at halftime, I looked at you off camera. I felt Stanford was too passive at the end of the first half. I thought they were in trouble a little bit. But then Ty Thompson stepped up. He hit the post. I think they were a little bit more aggressive going forward, and that obviously showed.
And the second Morris goal was a real body blow for Clemson.
But this is a program that has some real happy alumni right now. My phone's blown up. 2002, my brother was on the Stanford team that lost to UCLA. 98, they lost to Indiana. Stanford has produced some wonderful players in years past. It's great to see the program back after 13 years of not being in the College Cup.
And it's been a dry spell for Clemson as well, just to give them their props getting back here. Their last national championship was 28 years ago, one of 2 that they won.
Just to go back to the stat, 107 NCAA titles for Stanford, 3 for Clemson. 2 of those are soccer.
40 straight years.
Glenn, that's an absurd number.
Now don't forget, they've had to defend on their women's water polo team a couple times in the spring to keep the streak alive, but they've done it.
Thank you. Only UCLA has more titles. That's unreal.
Amazing athletic programs. Clemson right in there too, by the way. Kasner, outside of his foot, cuts it back, plays it out wide. Klaus. There's Paul Klaus now, penetrating pass. Shooting opportunity is pulled back. It's going to be a corner for Clemson here. Less than 10 minutes left. Good look at Oliver Shannon, a box-to-box midfielder from Liverpool, England.
Come here.
Part of the Everton Academy.
No! Yeah, they stopped. They didn't want to do that down here close. Wait! No! Go on!
It's Stanford has just been dominant in the air. They're going to try to knock this over the top. Andrew Tarbell. If you would have told me that Andrew Tarbell was going to get beat 4 times here today by Stanford, I would have said you were absolutely crazy.
He wasn't at fault on any of the 4 though.
Good goals.
Yep.
And you might even say, if not for his outstanding play, you aren't in the national championship game over the course of this weekend here in Kansas City. So here is how it happened. Jordan and Morris only 2 minutes into this game, and then early in the second half. So Morris scoring at the very beginning of the game, at the very beginning of the second half here, and then Brandon
also
Vincent
drawn
and Bursa.
He also drew the penalty for Vincent.
Off wonderful individual creative moves. So seen a lot from him here tonight, especially in the second half, really upping it. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the Women's Volleyball Championship. Semifinal action beginning Thursday, December 17th, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Bernakill trying to get make that Murphy. Trying to get turned. Austin Bernakill is another one walking wounded, broken ribs. Clemson. Less than 8 minutes left here. The last 6 years, Jeremy Gunn of Stanford has gotten to 2 College Cup finals. He's about to win his first here with Stanford. Remember in 2011 he lost 1-0 with UNC Charlotte to the University of North Carolina. Only 2 coaches in the last 6 years have gotten their team or teams to the NCAA College Cup, and that would be Virginia's George Gelnovich. Last year the Cavaliers winning the national championship over UCLA. Mafi widens it out here on the left. Thompson is down. Don't forget, if you want to see the trophy ceremony, you tune into ESPN3 after this match's conclusion for the live trophy presentation. What more can you say about Ty Thompson, Taylor? You know, it's a guy that kind of flies under the radar, but has really done the job in midfield.
No doubt about it. Senior from Sacramento, California, 2015 All Pac-12 first team, but it's just more importantly his commitment to do the dirty work for this team. You've seen Corey Baird, Eric Verso, Jordan Morris, Langsdorff, Foshti have the freedom to go forward. They don't have that freedom if Ty Thompson isn't doing his job well.
Still Stanford. Off the turn, shot is blocked. Chance to make it 5, save Tarbell. He's not going down without a fight. Andrew Tarbell coming up with a huge reaction save there. Switch of goalkeepers. Epstein will go up.
It's a class move from Jeremy Gunn, if you ask me.
Nico Cordy comes up. Now, Jeremy Gunn's trying to get a lot of his roster playing time. He's just brought on Marion Bryce. Couple of minutes there for number 24, Adrian Alabi. And it'll be a corner for Stanford. You know, I go back to something you said, which I think was very important. Ty Thompson hitting the post sent a bit of a message here in the second half.
No doubt about it. Like the end of the first half, even Ty Thompson and his teammates would say they were too passive. They came out and started second half and sent a message immediately.
Swinging close towards the 6.
Not many coaches, Glenn. Not many coaches.
And look at this. Largest win margins in College Cup history. Goes back to 1969 when the St. Louis Billikens defeated San Francisco 4-0.
I was going to say, not many coaches have won a Division II title and a Division I. Jeremy Gunn joins an elite list of coaches. Very impressive, only 4 years here at Stanford.
Looking to try and get a fish. Bosti's still fighting in there. There's some historic names. Tom Fitzgerald did it. Will Reed. Bob Gelker.
Yep. Bob Gelker was a huge impact of my families with my father and his 2 brothers playing at SIU Edwardsville. But Jeremy Gunn joins a list of coaches that have done it at multiple levels.
Gunn was a goal scorer in college after coming over from England, where he apprenticed as a youth player with Grimsby Town and Scunthorpe. And a great year for Clemson, too. Let's not forget that. They get back to the NCAA College Cup.
No doubt about it, Glenn. ACC and men's college soccer is 100% better when Clemson is a top 10 team and a top 10 program. And listen, yes, they got blown out here today, but men's college soccer is much better when Clemson's playing at a high level.
And you could see it coming with Mike Newton. Year after year, it just seemed to continue to accelerate. Last year, they were the ACC champions. This year, he got them all the way to the NCAA College Cup here in Kansas City. In some ways, it'll be a disappointing day for Clemson, no doubt. But it is, in another way, a return to kind of glory for them and this historic program. Brandon Vincent, hit from the penalty spot for Stanford. The senior dumps it forward towards the corner flag. Ticking down towards 2 minutes left here. Already the Stanford bench beginning to feel it.
Glenn, before we're all fair, I do want to make a point with the turnout that has happened here in Kansas City. I wonder if the NCAA and the men's college soccer division of that need to revisit where these games are held. Maybe it's the higher seed hosting, because at some point, we've got to have a stadium full of people to celebrate a College Cup final.
No doubt about it.
Not to take anything away from the moment, but come on.
Yep. Well, I'm sure it's going to happen in the future. I think there's some things in motion. Next year, the NCAA Men's College Cup will be held in Houston. But for the moment now, it's all about the Stanford Cardinal looking to win their first men's soccer national championship.
But what got me thinking of that was watching the flashback of the last time Clemson won a national title, 1987. That was on their home field. And I know logistics is all part of that, but that's why I'm not paid to make the decisions. I'm just coming up with the idea. We need to have 10,000 people in a stadium packed for the Men's College Cup.
Women's last weekend in Cary had a sellout. But you're right, I think it's what goes on around the tournament that's vital in the lifeblood of people in here to see such talented players and players that are going to go on and have gone on already to play internationally. I mean, what a ticket it was to come see a Jordan Morris here for any young local player.
So I can promise you one thing, not a single one of those players is worried about who's in the crowd right now.
That's right. Long ball comes into the box. Stanford trying to keep this shutout. And a rough moment here. Clemson's number 19, Kyle Murphy, is up and okay. What an outstanding game for that young man. Tomas Hilliard Arce. So solid at the back along with his partner Brian Nanasinkum. Well, Taylor, just put a bow on today here on this wonderful win for Stanford now. 29 seconds left.
It's been a long time coming. Glenn, it's been a long time coming. A program over the last 20 to 25 years that has produced a number of pro players that have moved on to the next level, but also great student athletes and great men 100% deserve this title.
Over the top it goes. Stanford trying to finish it off. 8 seconds left. This is it. The Stanford Cardinal will win their 19th game of the year, their first ever national championship under the head coach Jeremy Gott.